Hello YouTube! Welcome to a new Synth Anatomy video. I hope you had a wonderful day. Arturia has released the V Collection 8, the next version of its massive vintage synth collection. The new version features in total 28 plugins, where you can find 4 new plugins and 3 big updates. In this video, I give you an overview of the new additions, but also many sound demos. Let's start in the V Collection 8 with the Jup-8V, which is an emulation of the Roland Juno 60, not comparable with the Juno 106. The Juno 60 was a bit more characterful and fatter. Personally, I don't have a Juno 60 here, so I can't say much about the character, but what I hear, it was a bit fatter and more interesting from the sound. And the Jup-8V gives you these sounds in a virtual version. So you have here the DCO, VCF, also the high-pass filter, envelope, VCA, the legendary chorus. So you have here also with 2 stages, the master, an arpeggiator. Additionally, you have a chord function, which is great if you are not so familiar with chords like me. So you press it and you can change here different chords, what is pretty handy. Then you have here a hold function for the arpeggiator. Also here some other features. And also for me very nice is here to have a voice calibration, so a good average or poor. That's mainly in hardware, a very important feature, which is now also here in this emulation. Plus you have chorus noise, which can be also very handy. Plus, as you know from Arturia, they added additional features. You go here to advanced, and you can see you have a second LFO with different waveforms, then an envelope, then a delay and reverb, and then little modulation metrics for the mod wheel, velocity and aftertouch. And maybe you saw it already on the interface. Arturia has changed a bit the system for managing presets and so on. You have now a more straightforward interface here with the presets, what I prefer because it's more intuitive. But if you want, you can also highlight here with a heart, or you can go deeper here and then you can see all the sounds. On the left side here, you have here the new presets, import, export, the resizement, it goes up to 200. So this works also very straightforward. And you have also in-app tutorials, go back to 80. And you have on the right side here an additional section with the settings, MIDI, and also a new feature are macros. So you can have here up to 4 macros. So you have here brightness, timbre, time and movement, and the macro here on the brightness is the cutoff frequency, for example, but you can add what you want. And you have in-app tutorials, so here sound generators, the filters and so on. And on the bottom here, you have here the settings for the unison, the polyphony, and also the go back section. And also you can show the undo redo history, also pretty handy. If you say, this changement was not so good, I go back. And also the CPU meter. So I think it looks nice, but now it's time for sounds. The Jup-8V V sounds very fat and also solid in my opinion, also very characterful, but I can't say how close it to the hardware, because I don't have a Juno 6 here in the studio, so I can't compare to the emulation, so I don't want to tell you something what is maybe wrong. So no statement on this, but it sounds very nice and fat. Let's stay with roll-on emulations. The Jupiter 8, the Jup-8V at Arturia, just got a makeover with new features, new graphics, also with the new makeover here, and also with a new engine. So it sounds better and more characterful. And as you can see here, the menu system is the same as in the Jup-8V V. So also with the menu system on the right side here, with GUI resizements, with the new preset manager, and so on. And if you go here to advanced, you get additional features here with LFO2, LFO3, with multiple destinations, a modulation mixer where you can mix two LFOs together and create a sum. Then a note sequencer and a mod sequencer, which is in my opinion far more intuitive, to can work more straightforward than before. Then a keyboard assignments, velocity, aftertouch, mod wheel, and keyboard tracking with different destinations, and also 3 slots for effects. The effects include here reverb, delay, chorus, flanger, and so on, and you can route them in serial or in parallel. And yeah, let's check out also here the sounds. As already said, I can say something on the authenticity because I don't have a Jup-8 MS Studio and compare it to the Jup-8V. But I can say in my ears it sounds better than the previous version, and also it makes more fun to tweak sounds on it because the interface is more straightforward and intuitive. Let's leave the Roland legendaries. Now it's time for Moog, and the new V Collection 8 features the Vocoder V, which is an emulation of the legendary Moog vocoder, but transformed in a very cool instrument. You can play this either with your voice or with samples, so you can import your own samples and create very unique sounds. I can only say now it's one of my favorite instruments in the V Collection 8 because it gives you a lot of sound design options. And as you can see here on the bottom, you have the oscillator section, which resonates with your voice. And here you have the full filter bank, which is known from the vocoder from Moog and other vocoder synthesizers. And so here you can mix the synth with your voice. And if you go up here to the advanced section, you can see I'm here in the sample section where you can put your own samples in it, and this can be then played in a circle, so with every key a different sample, or you play it like only on C1 or C2. As I said, you can also use your voice for transforming your sounds. I'm not a perfect singer, so I don't use this now, but the sample player is for me very powerful. Then you have here different mod section, an envelope follower, which is great for the voice input, then an LFO and a modulation matrix, and also here many effects. And as I said, the sounds are very flexible and sounds that you're not expecting from the V Collection. And also here, time for some sounds, and I warn you, the sounds are pretty crazy.
Generator, oscillator, synchronize, synthesizer, vocoder, generator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Was an ice cold man, and all I've ever needed was an ice cold man. All I've ever wanted was an ice cold man, and all I've ever needed.
I got beat on my mind, move your feet, stay in line. I got
got beat on my mind. Move your feet, stay in line. I got beat on my mind. Move your feet, stay in line. I got beat. Always on the verge of being killed by forces I don't like. I don't know what's going on. We're blundering around together in this unformed world, seemingly indecipherable. Always on the verge of being killed by forces I don't like it here. Hands up, let me see what you got. Don't stop, those bottles won't pop. Hands up, let me see what you got. Hands up, let me see what you got. Hands up, let me see what you got. Don't stop, those bottles won't pop.
We need light in the dark. 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 We need light in the dark.
All in all, I can say the Vocoder V is a fantastic virtual instrument. Sure, I can compare it with the Moog Vocoder. So seen as complete instrument, it's a wonderful sound design tool that I really enjoy to play with. Next we have an update for the Analog Lab. It's now called Analog Lab V, so no longer Analog 1, 2 or 3. So it's now Analog Lab V, and it got a interface makeover, new sounds and more. Unfortunately, I don't have a unit for testing because it was still in development and still in bug fixing and so on. So I can't show you now in detail the news of it. Also the OBX-A emulation, the OBX-A V is included in the new Arturia V Collection 8. Please check my review on my channel about it. I will not give you a detailed overview and a sound demo here, so please check out my review of it. The next addition is not a synthesizer, but a sampler. It's an emulation of the Emulator II, and here called Emulator II V, which captures this iconic sound character of this sampler from the past and puts it in a new sampler plugin from Arturia. And as you can see, it has all this classic design. We have with master control, filter, LFO, we say an arpeggiator and effects. And if you go here on screen, you get here the entire interface with 8 layers. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then for each layer you have here the sample, which can you play back in different directions and so on. You can also import your own samples. You can add filter to it, LFO, VCA. You can also add a voice affix for each voice, what is quite nice. And also change the DAC mode. So adding this character to it, you can add a vintage tone to it or more modern. Then you can also split the different samples on your keyboard, what is also very practical and makes it really a sampler workstation. And you have also many effects for the entire sound, which can also be routed parallel or in serial. And yeah, that's all. And let's play a bit with the Emulator II V. The Emulator II V sounds, in my opinion, very solid. It has a lot of character and vintage charm. Also, the engine is very deep, so you can create very deep sound layers, but I cannot say how near or far the Emulator II V is from the Emulator 2 from Emu. So I can't say because I don't have one in my studio, so no comment on this. But as a sampler or as a vintage sampler, it sounds solid. Last but not least, we have an update for the Stage-73V, which comes now in the second version, and with a new engine inside and some improvements, as well as the new preset manager and layout. And also here, a little sound demo. I'm not a professional keyboarder, so I cannot compare it to a Stage-73, but to me it sounds very authentic, and also the sound quality is better. Compared to the first version, so good job. All in all, the new V Collection 8 from Arturia is a great package with great sounding synthesizers, e-pianos, pianos, samplers and more. I really enjoy the new Vocoder V, which brings a lot of sound design possibilities to the table. I also enjoy the new preset management, which is better and more straightforward compared to the previous versions. Sometimes I get some higher CPU peaks, but maybe that depends on the presets. What I said already, how accurate these emulations are, it depends on the plugin, but also if you have a bit better insights, if you have a unit at home or not. I cannot say something on this authenticity because I don't have one of these iconic synths, pianos and so on. But all in all, you get here a lot of great sounding plugins. And I've partnered up with Arturia to give away one license to you. So it's early Christmas, so for the next 14 days, so just before Christmas, I will draw one lucky guy which will win one license of the V Collection 8. And what you should do is easy. Visit synthanatomy.com, go to the article of the V Collection 8, leave a comment below, and then you will draw or not. And please leave only your name, because otherwise it will be tracked by Google and it's something we don't want. So leave it very simple and with your email so I can contact you. And I will not make it here on YouTube because this becomes then too many hassles with people which I can't contact and so on. So better on my website, comment on it, and then you are inside this drawing. Big thanks for watching. Please leave a positive thumb if you enjoyed this video and subscribe. This helps me a lot to continue this activity. Big thanks and hope to see you again in one of the next Synth Anatomy video. Bye!